Welcome to Cooking with Bubbles. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Rodney. Let's get started.
Okay.
6 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, there we go.
I love it. I love that little mist that comes across.
Me too. What are you putting in yours today?
I'm going al fresco today.
Nice.
Straight up bubbles.
I'm putting some dark stout in mine.
Nice. I like that mixture.
I think it's technically called a black velvet.
Yeah.
That's not a brand name. That's just a rogue name.
The mixology
name. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
I know. I like that.
My little stoppers keep my stuff cold and bubbly. Put it in my brand new refrigerator. Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Clink. Oh my gosh. I haven't had this in a very long time since I ran out of this kind of beer.
Yeah, yummy stuff.
Wow. Well, we're back to doing what we love, Lisa, and that's cooking while drinking Prosecco. And we would like to invite our audience to pour your own glass of bubbles, whatever that might look like for you, and enjoy the show. And also wanted to point out, we're wearing our fancy new Cooking with Bubbles aprons, and we'll tell you later how you can get your very own.
Sounds good. Well, like you said, we're doing what we love doing. We're in our own kitchens doing baking and cooking. And, you know, people are spending a lot more time at home nowadays. And this is just our fun way of still getting to be together and clean up our own messes. Instead of me cleaning
I like
up
it when you clean up
my
my mess.
I know, and I do kind of miss it, but you know what? Here we go. Cooking with bubbles in our own kitchen this time.
There we go.
So, Rodney, what are we going to make today?
Today we are making a Cooking with Bubbles original recipe that is Italian meatballs. Our first recipe. So exciting.
I know. It's our first one that we're publishing anyways. We have a whole bag of tricks.
Yeah, we sure do. Absolutely. So this recipe, I actually reached out to my dear friend Mary to get her Italian meatballs recipe. And I'm here to tell you, never ask an Italian woman for a recipe, because what you'll get is a list of ingredients. So yep. I'm happy though, because she opened the door for us to create our own recipe. So we took that list of ingredients and we kind of put our heads together and said, okay, this is what we think it should be. So very grateful for Mary to share her list of ingredients with us so that we could have our own Cooking with Bubbles original. And so this recipe contains 3 kinds of meat. So it's ground beef, ground veal, and sausage. And you can use your own variety that you like to use. I think mine is a sweet sausage. I don't remember. I already threw the package away, but you can use a sweet sausage. You can use whatever kind of sausage you want. I think mine might be Italian sausage. It's got breadcrumbs, sauteed onions that we've already sauteed in advance. It's got some garlic, some eggs, lots and lots of Parmesan cheese, and pepper, salt, and onion powder. So that's the ingredients, and we're going to see how this goes.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
So we're just going to mix all this together, huh?
Yeah. So we've both put on our food service gloves in order to keep our hands from getting, touching the meat mixture. Keeps our hands clean. So that's your food safety tip for today. So what we talked about doing is we're actually going to mix together the breadcrumbs, the Parmesan, and the onions first before we put it in the meat with all the other stuff.
And the nice thing about doing that is that you're guaranteed to make sure that everything is really nicely blended, and you don't have to do it while you're mixing it in with your meat.
Yeah. And so just from a proportion perspective, we're using 2 cups of breadcrumbs. And I have Italian breadcrumbs. You made your own, right? I bought mine.
I did.
At the store, but you made your own, which is awesome. 2 cups of breadcrumbs, 12 ounces of Parmesan cheese, finely shredded. And I think we both saved back a little bit from that 12 ounces to put
Yeah.
in with our pasta sauce later when we're enjoying our meatballs. And we took 2 medium onions and sauteed in oil. And it started with about 3 cups of uncooked onions at least. And I actually measured mine and it was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
3 cups. So we've got this mixed up. Looks pretty good. Let me get over here underneath my counter cam. Oops, my bowl is just a little bit small. Okay. So now we're gonna, what do we do next?
So now that you've got the dry mixture pretty much combined, you can go ahead and season your meat. And I went ahead and blended my salt and pepper and garlic powder and onion powder, I mean, together. So I'm just going to sprinkle it on top of my my meat.
Yeah, and it's 2 teaspoons of each.
Yes, exactly. So that's at least over there. And then I'm going to throw the egg on there.
Did you beat it first?
Beat the egg. Maybe I think I will. I think I'll break it down just a little bit.
I'll do the same. Didn't think about that in advance.
I don't know if you already said it, but the idea is you don't want to have to keep kneading the meat because it can make for a really tough meatball.
Yep. Okay.
So now we're just going to put that egg mixture on top of the meat.
Okay. And the seasoning. Okay.
Along with the seasoning. And then you can just add your dry mixture to that same bowl.
What about the garlic? When do we put that in? Did you
already throw the garlic in there. Yep, I almost wish I would have put it in with my egg.
And from the garlic perspective, we're saying 4 to 5 cloves, and we're both using the frozen cubes of garlic, and I used 5 because anytime I'm given a range on garlic, I use the high end.
Me too.
Okay. So are we ready to start mixing this meat now?
We are. Just throw in a little bit of your dry stuff. Whatever size bowl you have, that might determine how much you can put in at one time.
Yep.
I'm going to get started with this. And you just kind of fold it over to get started.
Just fold it in.
Fold it in.
Fold it in.
I need a third hand so I can sip my bubbles while I'm doing this.
Or an IV.
Or one of those backpack things that has the straw in it.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's a little excessive. All right, this is looking good. I'm going to add more of the meat to it, or the dry breadcrumbs to it. How's yours coming along? Oh yeah, looks good.
It's looking pretty good.
This is a recipe that can very easily be cut in half.
Yeah, it is a really nice big recipe, which is good because you can, make them in advance and freeze them and use them later, which is what I think we're both going to do with some of it. We're going to make some for today for dinner, but then we're going to put some in the freezer, and it's nice to have as an easy meal down the road.
Well, John, do we need to pause and come back when this is all mixed?
Yeah, let me do that.
All right, so welcome back. Our meat mixture is really blended nicely. And the next thing for us to do is to make sure our oven is preheated. Mine's already set to go at 350. And we're going to start rolling out these balls. We're going to both use our little ice cream scooper dudes. That helps to make sure the sizes are consistent. And we'll just see how this turn out. This size of meatball. It's going to make a large meatball, about 2 inches in diameter.
Yeah, and you can make whatever size you want. I also have a medium-sized cookie baller that I might make a few smaller size, just to have different size of, depending on whether I'm using it as a meal or an addition to sauce.
And these are going to be more like a appetizer dinner type of thing. This size works great for if you're making a meatball sub or something, then once they're cooked, they can be chopped in half and put in the mix,
Yeah,
put in your sauce.
I'll drink bubbles to that.
Oh, me too. I'm gonna have to use the stem because I've got meat goo. Oh,
All right,
so
so
good.
we're gonna get these balls rolled up.
All right, sounds good.
All right, welcome back. Well, now that we've rolled several of our meatballs, we're ready to start cooking them. But first, a sip of bubbles.
Oh yes, first things first. Why?
Ay, 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 ay. So good. And so we've got our pan ready. We mentioned that before the break. And so I put some avocado oil in my pan. And once it gets up to temperature here, I'm going to start cooking these. The induction gets hot pretty quickly.
And the idea is just to basically get these browned. We're going to finish them in the oven, so they don't have to get cooked all the way through.
Oh yeah, sizzle, sizzle.
Looks good.
And I made some different sizes so that I can.
Yeah, cool.
I just wanted to see how it would work. Awesome. Well, we are going to let these cook and see how they turn out.
All right, so this is great. I have had a chance to brown all my meatballs. They look really good, and oh my God, they smell wonderful.
Oh, it smells delicious in here.
Yeah, this is pretty much the right time when you can make a decision about whether you're going to just put them in the oven to finish baking them, or you're going to add sauce. So for our dinner tonight, I'm going to put these in with some pasta sauce and bake them in the oven for about 30 minutes, make sure 25, 30 minutes, make sure they're nice and browned.
Yeah, and what I'm doing is I'm just putting mine on a cooling rack that's on a cookie sheet. And I made sure that I sprayed the cooling rack with nonstick spray so that when they sizzle and crisp, they won't stick to the cooling rack. And I'm going to put them in the oven for about 30 minutes, which will finish cooking them. And then I can either freeze them or I can add them to my my sauce to have for our dinner. So there's a couple of different options for you for finishing off your meatballs. And so we're gonna go ahead and put these in the oven, and we'll come back when they're done.
I put a little bit of Parma on mine too.
Awesome. Good thing you saved that back.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back. So the meatballs are out of the oven, and we've let them cool a little bit, and it's time to give them a taste. So I put mine in some sauce with some Parmesan. Lisa, you finished yours off that way, so yours are already in sauce and Parmesan.
Yeah,
so let's go ahead and give it a taste. Looks like you put some fresh basil on yours. That looks lovely.
I did. I finished up with some fresh basil. Oh my God, they smell so good. I put a little bit more Parm on mine too. Wow, yummy. Our original Italian meatballs, they rock. Our original recipe. Yeah.
And they go well with bubbles.
So good.
So lovely. Wow. And that was so easy to make. It really was not a difficult recipe at all.
And it's nice because you can put it in the oven, go away, do other things, get ready for your dinner, you know, make a salad or whatever. And it's just easy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yum. I'm gonna have another bite.
Well, we'd like to thank our virtual audience today for joining. And we want to thank you all so very much for watching Cooking with Bubbles. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook. And that's at facebook.com/cookingwithbubbles. Facebook is where we post all of our recipes and our cooking pictures.
Yeah. And we mentioned to you before that we would let you know where you can get your own Cooking with Bubbles apron. All you have to do is send us an email. We'll tell you all about it. We'll tell you what it costs. We'll tell you how to get it to your own kitchen. Also, If you have any suggestions on recipes that you'd like for us to make on Cooking with Bubbles, you can also email those to us and send us your pictures. If you've got things that you've made that we've also made, would love to see them. Our email address is cookingwithbubbles@yahoo.com. Well, I think that takes care of it for today. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Rodney. See you next time.
Bye.